everyone. Here we go. Please stand if you are able and put your hands together for the Lake Oswego High School class of 2021.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the graduation ceremony of the Lake Oswego High School class of 2021. I'm George Donzelo, Senior Class President, and it's an honor to be here speaking to you. I'd like to take a moment to thank the people in our lives who have made this achievement possible. Our parents, families, friends, teachers, and staff. Thank you to our parents especially for putting up with us being home every hour of every day, day after day after day. Give it up for your parents, everyone. And to our teachers, thank you for supporting our efforts, even when our cameras were off on Zoom and our unmuted mics disturbed the peace. Today, we get to celebrate us, our patience as we watch teachers and students fumble with Zoom classes, our perseverance as we found ways to safely come together amidst rigid health regulations, and our success in forming a strong class bond in spite of enforced isolation. We are the first group of high school seniors to spend the majority of our online school year online. Now, this is historic. Nothing like this has ever happened in our country before, and hopefully never will again. The pandemic showed us how the things we take for granted can be taken away. Sitting in a classroom, eating lunch in a cafeteria, passing one another in the hallways, cheering at a football game, holding hands with a sweetheart. All of this was taken away from us and gave us a new appreciation of the luxury of human togetherness. In fact, let's put our hands together for the fact that we're able to be together side by side for this ceremony today. Let's face it, this year was crazy hard. But you know what? Our class is crazy cool for having survived it. Every one of us endured the pandemic in our own way, but the class of 2021 survived by coming together. For senior sunrise, classes on Zoom, scary movie night, and hours of phone and text conversations. In essence, the pandemic brought to light how connected we all are, even as we were separated in quarantine. As I close today, I challenge us to keep coming together through the years by attending our reunions down the road. Let's celebrate the joy of coming together to reminisce about a year of staying apart. As we forge our paths into the future, leading with kindness, responsibility, diligence, and spirit, I know that each of us will go on to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. Be humble, be happy, and don't forget to savor the moment, because nobody knows like we do how quickly it can be taken away. Class of 2021, congratulations. I would now like to introduce the man who has led us through our 4 years, the one who brings our students and staff together each day with a warm smile and a contagious laugh. Give it up for our principal, Mr. Dickinson.
All right, it is so good to be here with all of you today. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful occasion. Last week, I was sitting up in the stands, right where all of you are, just taking it all in. It was Wednesday evening. We were finishing up our May Fate rehearsal. Jake Watson, Gabe Porter, Nate Waterbury, Mr. Hill, some others were just hanging around, tinkering with equipment, getting ready for the day ahead. And I was just sitting there, not really helping at all, just getting a little sentimental, actually, watching as 17 of our amazing students practice the waltz one more time here at the center of our field. That May Fate music was in the air, a day and strange year almost done. And for whatever reason, it was the most poignant, perfect thing. I'm not the biggest May Fate fan or anything, but seeing them all there, it was beautiful. Like something out of Rumi's 800-year-old poem where he writes, "Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing, and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. And what topped it all off was watching our ASB president, Clark Jones, right there in the middle of it all, waltzing alone. I think his partner, Allison, had headed off to basketball or something, so Clark was just spinning there by himself, playfully skipping and jumping and turning in the middle of the field, surrounded by friends at this school he loves and that loves him back, practicing his box step of all things around the LO. I have 3 kids, and my 2 daughters, they're 10 and 7, and they love the artist Lizzo. Growing up is acting less childish, Lizzo said, and being more childlike. There is wisdom in that. I think about dancing in the evening on the field with friends in the middle of it all. I think about armadillos and pufferfish and whale sharks and staff versus senior kickball games. And I hope that the ways we open ourselves up to play, to freedom, to joy will also open ourselves up to awareness, to a lightness of being beatific that will shine our way with something like love. This year, we all learned so much. We have our outstanding, inspiring staff to thank for so much of that, people who adapted in the most remarkable ways and dedicated their year to all of you, to your education, to your success and well-being and continued growth, and to knowing you. And we have your families to thank, and we have you to thank, and our world. As Melinda Gates said, this pandemic has magnified every existing inequality in our society: systemic racism, gender inequality, poverty. And she's right. We have learned so much about ourselves, our family, our government, the systems we have created and inherited, the forces at work, how interconnected we are, and how we might and must do better in the most courageous and conscious of ways. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "I refuse to accept the view that humankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace can never become a reality. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word," he said. I also think about 2 things Barack Obama shared in his recent memoir. One was about what inspired him as a younger man and helped him on his path. He wrote about young people. To see young people risking everything, he wrote, just to have a say in their own lives, to try to strip the world of the old cruelties, hierarchies, divisions, falsehoods, and injustices that cramp the human spirit. That, I had realized, was what I believed in and longed to be a part of. Later in the memoir, he shared an image of him and Michelle looking out through the window in the dusk in Norway after he received the Nobel Peace Prize. People had filled the streets, each holding aloft a single lit candle. He described it as a humbling and magical sight, as if a pool of stars had descended from the sky. Whatever you do won't be enough, he thought to himself, and imagined them saying, "Try anyway." I think about people like Izzy and Cameron and Barbara and Janelle and Cassidy and Serena and Nate and so many more who do so much and try so much, people I would stand in the dusk for and hold aloft a candle to thank. I think about so many of you and the courageous, kind steps you have taken to bend our world toward justice and peace. The way the gaps you find let the light come in. How bright and aware you are. I think about people like Christy Alberg, and Bob McGranahan, and Paula Welshons, and Terry Tamblin-Sheik, and Lee Metzger, better known as Miss Arndt, and what it means to have had such a full and noble career and to be retiring. I think about all of you, and this great school, and community, and the journey ahead. Ocean Vuong reminds us that in Vietnamese, the word for missing someone and remembering them is the same. I like that. I have missed you, will miss you, and will remember you and our school in the brightest of ways. It has been a sweet honor to share space with all of you, and it's a sweet honor to introduce our upcoming musical performance by a cappella, and you can see them walking this way now. It'll take us a couple minutes to get ready, but we'll be ready. It's good to see all of you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Tell me where is the road I can call my own, that I left, that I lost so long ago. All these years I have wandered, oh, when will I know there's a
All right, now it's my privilege to introduce our next student speaker. Annika, come on up.
Hello, I'm Annika Bernhardt. We live in a world that is composed of hellos and goodbyes. And oftentimes, the goodbyes come at the most unexpected moments. This is not one of those goodbyes. This goodbye we've had the ability to prepare for and the chance to savor. I didn't get the opportunity to grow up in LO, but in the past 4 years, I've had the privilege of becoming a part of this community. In the beginning, it was very daunting. Entering this brick building full of new people and opportunity, spending 4 years here felt like an impossibly long time. And I was scared of not finding my place within it all. Now I stand on the other side of these 4 years, years that were terrifying, sweet, and so different from what I expected them to be. It all feels very short. I know everyone tells you to enjoy high school while you can, because it just doesn't last that long, but I didn't really understand what they meant until today. Our time together has been brief, and yet so much has changed. There were many moments that were difficult, but in those situations, I was grateful for the community that surrounded me, the guidance of my teachers, the love of my peers, and the instances when we sought to understand each other on a deeper level. These moments that were potentially divisive opened us up and defined us. It occurs to me that the most difficult times have shaped me the most. Those moments of sadness that intermixed the moments of joy. And while I appreciate the people that are here today, I cannot help but think of those who are not. The goodbyes we didn't anticipate. Perhaps it's a friend who's drifted out of arm's reach, a family who lives in faraway places, or those who are more permanently gone, who we can only carry with us in spirit. The effect these people have had in our lives resonates deeply, and that's not something to be overlooked while we think and reflect upon the people who have brought us to this celebrated achievement. Mr. Dickinson once said, "What breaks us makes us whole," and I'm going to borrow that line here. This past year has changed us. We have come of age in a pandemic amidst social unrest and political conflict. And it is important for us to acknowledge how hard the past year has been. And it's also important to acknowledge how we've adapted and worked to make ourselves and our experiences as whole as they can be. It's been hard and isolating, and I think many of us are still grieving the promised high school experience, the proms and sports seasons and classes and all the little moments in between that we never got to fully enjoy. But within this, there's connection and growth, and all are a part of the same big, difficult, and connected truth. And all of us have lived this shared truth. And while many of us will realistically not see each other again, forever we will have this thing, this entity of shared experience that will connect us to this moment in which we are all together living this common existence. I think for me, the biggest and most important lesson to be learned from all of this is a final lesson in presence. And I would like it if we could all take a moment today to reflect on that sense of presence together, to sit with it and be with ourselves as who we are right now. Because, as we've learned, so much that we believe to be constant is transient. So this shared sense of presence is important because it keeps us aware of who we are in each and every moment. Today, I feel very lucky to have shared this moment with all of you. Whether or not we've known each other personally, were deskmates who rarely spoke, or perhaps just brushed past each other in the halls, I'm really happy that you're here with me and with all of us today. As cheesy as it sounds, we're here and we're together, and for this brief moment in our lives before the rest of time takes us rushing away from each other, we're present. And for that, I'm thankful. And I'm also really proud to have known all of you and gotten to see the people you've become in this brief time, even if it was an observation that was made at a distance. This ending for me is bittersweet. While there's so much ahead of us and so much to look forward to, there's also so much I feel we've been made to leave behind. For me, being present in this moment is the best way I can think of to honor our experience with each other, no matter where we will end up. So thank you for being here today and being present. And as we prepare for this goodbye, feel proud for what you've done to be here today. For all the ups and downs in our personal lives, the parts we've played in the lives of others, for all of our failures and our successes, getting to this point and being who we are today and being present with that person is one of the many gifts and things to celebrate in this moment. I know that we'll all have different memories of our time together, but for me, this moment in particular, when we're here celebrating this accomplishment as a community, will be one that I will cherish. So thank you, and goodbye.
Good job, Annika. Oh, well done. All right, and now we are so lucky to have another musical performance by the Dockside Dollies, and here they are coming from behind the stage. You're in for a treat. So put your hands together for the Dockside Dollies.
Hi, we're the Dockside Dollies, and today we'll be performing And So It Goes by Billy Joel.
In every heart there is a room, a sanctuary safe and strong to heal the wounds from lovers past until a new one comes along. I spoke to you cautious tones. You answered me with no pretense, and still I feel I said too much. My silence is my self-defense, and every time I held the rose, it seems I only felt the thorns. And so it goes, and so it goes, and so will you soon, I suppose. But if my silence made you leave, then that would be my worst mistake. So I will share this room with you, and you can have this heart to break. And this is why my eyes are closed. It's just as well for all I've seen. And so it goes, and so it goes, and you're the only one who knows. So I will choose to be with you. That's if the choice were mine to make. But you can make decisions too, and you can have this heart to break. And so it goes, and so it goes.
That was beautiful. All right, Cameron, you ready? Our next student speaker, Cameron Izuka. Please put your hands together. You rock it.
Welcome, everyone. Students, faculty, parents, YouTube streamers. It's great to have you here. Thank you for joining us in celebrating our seniors. As the introduction said, I'm Cameron Izuka. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm honored to be addressing you one last time. Although I must admit we look very put together right now, it's really not the best weather for wearing oversized polyester sweat tents. I'd like to apologize in advance if I spontaneously combust. I'd like to begin by honoring the people who helped us all get here today. Thank you to the teachers who've worked tirelessly to guide us these past 4 years. Thank you for coming in early and staying late to help us with homework, talking to us at lunch when we had no one else to sit with, and encouraging free thought with every activity, discussion, and assignment. Thank you to the parents, relatives, and family friends who supported us outside of school. Thank you for checking in on us after long days, driving us to and from rehearsals and practices, and helping us with math homework that just wasn't clicking. A special thank you to our classified staff for keeping our school clean and doing all the other behind-the-scenes work that often goes unnoticed in such a busy school environment. Finally, thank you to our administration for leading with compassion and recognizing our value as more than our grades and test scores. Ask someone, no, clapping is good, clapping is good. Ask someone their first impression of high school, and they'll probably say their first time attending a football game or a school musical. Not me. It was the last day of 8th grade, and we had just walked across the street. After our own graduation ceremony, we sat in the auditorium clustered around friends and family, eager to listen to performances and speeches by students and staff alike. Most memorably, Mr. Dickinson recited a poem, Shake the Dust by Anis Mojgani. The title was repeated throughout, every time adding emphasis and expanding its meaning, urging us to be our best selves because this world is ours. This past year, however, this world was not ours. Instead, it was ruled by a virus. Graduation speeches are usually a moment of reassurance that everything will be okay, everyone will find fulfillment in a life defined all on their own, we will be safe and continue to grow and learn wherever we go. But to be completely honest, I cannot offer you this, let alone offer it to myself. There are many broken systems in this world that continue to marginalize people, just as there are many greedy individuals who make it harder for us to change those systems. After being separated from each other for so long, and after watching the world catch fire, it's more important now than ever to shake the dust. I will spare you from the language like unprecedented and global and pandemic in order to say that yes, this was a historic year. When we reflect on this time in the future, hopefully it will feel more distant. 10 years from now, Mr. Isaac will probably be talking about the great COVID recession in AP Econ, just as Mr. Kepping may be writing lectures about the power of the media in 2020 using found footage from the Capitol siege. Miss Michael may be writing homework problems with ladies named Karen hoarding dozens of rolls of toilet paper. We lived through national wildfires, ice storms, historic elections, and insurrection, and are still living through a global pestilence, a civil rights movement, and a climate crisis. Despite the assault on our daily existence for the past 500 days, we survived. We stayed home, we masked up, we took time to learn and unlearn. Our classrooms became computer screens, athletic fields became backyards, group hangouts became FaceTimes, and vacations became evening family walks around the cul-de-sac. Despite the loss of normalcy and the loss of loved ones, we persevered. We showed our community what it is to be a Laker, someone brave, resilient, and hopeful. Well, maybe not always hopeful. Speaking for myself, I had at least 67 mental breakdowns where I couldn't stop crying. But hey, we made it. I'd like to acknowledge my classmates and thank each and every one of you for not giving up. Please take a moment to give yourselves a round of applause. As I approach the end of this speech, I feel we should also recognize our privilege. We should feel gratitude for this and also recognize it at the same time. We are incredibly lucky to live in a community as safe and affluent as Lake Oswego, just as we are to attend such a fine school with excellent teachers and programs. I'm certain that many of you will take the knowledge you've gained here and continue doing extraordinary things. So this is not a goodbye, but a see you later. I look forward to reading about your achievements, listening to your music, liking your Instagram posts, and I hope that the future memories you will create will be even more meaningful than the ones made thus far. Whatever you do and wherever you go, shake the dust, because this world, now and forever, will always be yours. Change the things you cannot accept, take risks and learn from them, be a lifelong learner, act with empathy and equity in mind, savor the moments of joy that feel infinite. In the words of Anis Mojgani, when the world knocks at your front door, clutch open the knob and open on up, running forward into its widespread, greeting arms with your hands before you, fingertips trembling though they may be. To the class of 2021, shake the dust.
Thank you, Cameron. Each year, the senior class nominates a teacher who embodies what it means to be a Laker. This is someone who not only teaches with passion, but also goes above and beyond to foster a fun, welcoming environment for all students in their classes. The class of 2021's nominee this year is an exceptional teacher, not to mention a star football coach. He's devoted to his students like no other, and although his serious nature can be intimidating at times, his students know he has a big heart. It's my pleasure to introduce our 2021 speaker, Mr. Hubley.
Thank you, George, for that great introduction. Dr. Shealy, members of the school board, Mr. Dickinson, families and friends that are here today, and especially to you, the class of 2021. I'm so honored to have been asked to be the faculty member speaking to you today. I'm beyond humbled that you've entrusted me, out of all the amazing teachers that I have the great honor to call my colleagues, with this task. Normally, the graduating class chooses a staff member who is well-spoken. Mr. Noble, Mr. Kepping, Mrs. Wolf-Roca, rather than the shy, monotone math teacher football coach. And when George told me that you had nominated me, I doubted I was up to the task, and I took some time to think about it. And later that day, I was driving with my son, Carson, he's 11, and I told him that I'd been asked to speak at the graduation, and that while I was honored, I was also scared. And Carson looked at me and he said, "Dude." My son calls me dude. He said, "Dude, come on, you got this." So I got home and I emailed George and I accepted. Let's hope Carson was right. Class of 2021, your high school experience has been like none other. A year ago at this time, we were all lamenting the class of 2020. And at the time, none of us would have imagined that you were going to be the ones whose senior year was going to be so significantly impacted. you've had to face so many unique challenges and have endured so many hardships and lost out on so much. For those of you who know me, you know I value treating challenge as opportunity. And if you had me as your teacher prior to COVID, you knew never to ask me if you had to do anything, because you knew the response was going to be, no, you don't have to do anything. You get to. You have the opportunity to. I didn't say those things this year. I didn't feel like I could put that on you. I felt like you needed empathy and compassion this year more than a football coach telling you to toughen up. But with that said, here we are at graduation, and the time has come to move on, and we need to find some opportunities to learn from what we've gone through this year. Before we get to those lessons, I think we have to acknowledge that there are some things we are going to miss about this year. Who isn't going to miss attending your first period class in bed? Still in your pajamas, having just woken up seconds before having to log into your Zoom meeting. Your camera was off, of course, which in this case was probably for the best. Snapping with your friends or scrolling TikTok or watching the Gilmore Girls on Netflix and only partially listening to your teacher try to teach you something as you photomathed the math assignment that was due second period. Some of you thrived with this newfound lack of structure. You got your schoolwork done even if you weren't fully engaged during class time. You found jobs, you worked out, or you helped support your family. For others, this lack of structure was less than ideal. You might have found it hard to even get out of bed, and you might have spent the bulk of your day playing video games. When the accountability of a normal school day was taken from you, you found yourselves at a crossroads. There's a hummingbird right here. You were faced with making a choice about whether or not you wanted to be challenged. You were faced with the difficult task of holding yourself accountable. And I know there were times when we all chose the easier path. But the lesson we should learn is that a purposeful, meaningful life comes with challenge. We need goals to aspire to, something to overcome, something to be held accountable for. And whether your thing is academics, theater, band, orchestra, art, sports, choir, cheer, dance, volunteering, coding, or auto mechanics, having something to be passionate about pushes us to be our best and to grow. When COVID took these things away from us, we might have been tempted to live an easier life, a life curled up in a blanket. The lesson we've had the opportunity to learn is that that life has a little less meaning. Life can't always be lived in our slippers and a comfy, or with our cameras off and our dogs in our lap. While there's no doubt that confronting challenge provides us purpose, that is not the most significant thing we missed out on this year. No, the thing about the events we missed is that they were the experiences we were supposed to have all shared together. For me personally, the most empty feeling I've ever had as a teacher was trying to teach to a computer screen full of your pet's pictures, some silly gifts, or the ceiling fans in your rooms. Now, don't get me wrong, your pet is super cute. However, teaching to a picture of your cat did not leave me with a sense of fulfillment at the end of the day. Not seeing the glimmer of understanding in your eyes, or the questioning look prompting me to explain things another way, left me feeling empty and frustrated. I missed you this year. Think back to your pre-COVID school years or the small pieces of it that you've been able to reclaim in a partial return to school this spring. Think about being in those stands for a game. What made that so special? Did it matter if the team won? Or was it being with your friends, laughing, cheering, and counting stands push-ups that had you walking out the stadium with a smile on your face? Think about being a part of a team. Whether it was the water polo team or the robotics team or the speech and debate team or the theater tech team. What really made that so special? I hope it was what you and your peers brought to each other. The way your teammates can lift you up and inspire you, carry on when you want to quit, the way success is made all the sweeter when you get to celebrate together. So more than anything, we have to have learned to not take for granted the connection we all have with one another. We have to have learned that more than anything else, we've missed each other this year. You need to take that lesson out into the world with you. In everything you do, acknowledge and honor that the connection you have with the people in your lives is the absolute most important thing of all. And as we think about that connection, I want you to think about one word. And for most of us, it's a difficult word to say. And that word is love. I hope you go out into the world not being afraid to say that word. I hope you never let an opportunity go by to tell the people who have a positive impact on your life that you love them. Class of 2021, life is not meant to be lived asynchronously. Life is meant to be lived with your camera on. Don't be afraid to open yourself up to be challenged. Find something to be passionate about and let the challenge of taking it on help you grow. Whether you conquer the challenge or not, you'll be better for it. Hold yourself accountable for opening yourself to the people around you. Hold yourself accountable for setting down your phone and giving of yourself to others. And when others do the same for you, hold yourself accountable for letting them know you love them for the effort. Class of 2021, congratulations, and thank you again for this humbling honor. Thank you for your effort, your energy, your commitment, your resilience, your smiles, and your laughter these last 4 years. Thank you for challenging me. Thank you for enriching my life. I love you.
All right, now I get to invite up our incoming superintendent. She's a dear friend of mine, and she will be so good in her new role as superintendent of the Lake Oswego School District. Put your hands together for Dr. Sheely.
And I appreciate that. The time has come that you are all here and ready for. So members of the Lake Oswego School Board, it gives me great pleasure to present the members of the Lake Oswego High School class of 2021 who have successfully completed the state of Oregon and Lake Oswego School District requirements for their high school diploma. Now, will the class of 2021 please come forward to receive your diplomas?
Harrison Michael Canfield. Mia Elise Cremona. Emma Corinne Dishner. Ryan Christopher Hooper. Hannah Reese Shea. Bailey M. Jaramello. Amy Liu. Adriana Arissa Mabin. Zachary J. Mahan. Artie Malhotra. Abigail L. Mankin. Lauren E. Manigood. Charlotte Renee Marquez. Catherine Soo-Young Marshall. Chase Alexander Martin. Jacob Ryan Joseph Tansel Matlock. Ashley McCann. Olivia May McClymans. Janelle M. McGrew. George McNeil. Alexander M. Meinhardt. Justin Richard Metzke. Aubrey Lee Matoyer. Jordan Alexander Miller. Julia Kate Montgomery. Jasmine Hope Moreno. Lucas Alexander Morgan. Danae Marie Murphy. Emma Kate Murphy. Zachary James Murphy. Miriam Sabina Nechaporek.
Maria N.S. Neshawat. Emma K. Norris. Sarah Michelle Novitsky. Olivia Ann Oliphant. Aaron Hayes Olson. Caitlin Olivia Onitis. Marie Mosai Onishi. Griffin Philip O'Toole. Charles R. Owens. Noah Alexander Page. Kush Chirayu Bakalesh Patel. Serenity Paul. Miguel R. Perez. Evan Y. Petticord. Guinevere Phelps. Tara Elizabeth Porter. Janelle Pranger. Emma A. Prasad. Christopher Stephen Pustai. Marco David Ramirez. Ethan Reinhardt. Chase H. Richardson. Haley Alyssa Rinney. Senna A. Rivadeneira. Garrett J. Roach. Jenny Rollins. Serena Danae Rothman. Eli Rowe. Isabel Decones Rowland. Alex Rosanova. Trace Weston Jaden Salton.
Rachel Ann Sassadus. Natalia Marie Chassot. Danielle Schlachter. Caitlin Marie Schreider. Mason Gray Schuster. Isabella Struan Scottbuck. Scarlett Alexis Scottbuck. Eric Gallery Seaman. Sydney May Nicole Seymour. Clara Danielle Kathleen Shepard. Oscar Shu. Tanapon Singsukum. Caitlin Jo Serine. Connor I. Slingerland. Emerson Vale Smith. Ethan Smith. Graydon Bruner Smith. Griffin Smith. Jack Nimitz Smith. Mason M. Smith. Miles Andreas Smith. Tyler Jacob Smith. Andrew Benjamin Saul. Ryan Spear. Alexandra Jean Stearns. Dylan Paul Stroop. Esther Marie Zito. Jordan Philip Taff. Misaki Tanabe. Addison Ann Clark Tengwe. Ellie Tanamira. Brooks S. Tarbell. Jacob H. Taylor.
Kyle Braden Tom. Jack Randall Thompson. Madeline Susanna Thompson. Sierra Aspen Tinger. Gray James Tawuri Holcomb. Connor Glenn Tolley. Dimitri Taranjo. Sophia Tassoni. Isha Tribraneni. Tirza Odessa Vest. Eliza Audrey Waddell. Jack Wagner. Zachary Wagner. Nathan R. Waterbury. Grace S. Watsky. Lucas William Akira Ware. Catherine Diane Weber. Catherine Welton. Connor Whittington. Aiden Price Wild. Calvin Sand Williams. Audrey Ellis Wojcik. Robert Wolf IV. Julia Evelyn Yazhari. Jared Yin. Rentian Yu. Kelsey Ann Utan. Taylor Marie Zapata. Ryan Yiran Zhang. Junan Zhu.
Cameron Riley Izuka. Annika Cecilia Magnusdottir Bernhardt. Malcolm Christopher Williams. Margaret May Glad. Lindy Joy Hansen. Cassandra Louisa Chan. Elizabeth Danae Bell. George Laverne Donzelo. Clark Michael Jones. Cole Dennis Leeper. Cassidy Jordan Miller. Allison Jade Sweeney. Emily Yee Joyce. Carly Ann Zerker. Jacob Miles Watson. Andrew M. Lee.
Oh, Miss Ray. Oh, 3 years. Thank you so much.